Today's recipe is pumpkin cheesecake. These are the ingredients that we're going to use. I don't know whether to call this a pie or cake, but it starts out with a crust. We're going to use graham crackers. You can use vanilla wafers or use pie dough. Let's start by grinding up 8 crackers in the food processor. Let's break up the graham crackers to make it easier to grind down. Now it's time to add our butter. You can cut the butter up into pieces, or this butter's at room temperature. I think it'll be fine to put the whole piece in. You may have to cut it up inside a little bit. Break up that big chunk of butter that's in there. Just a couple of slices will do it. Mix it up. Okay, so now let's add another 2 to 4 crackers. Just break them up with your hand. If it's a little dry, all you got to do is add a tablespoon of cold water. If you got a sweet tooth, you could add a 1/4 cup of brown sugar and mix it up, make it a little sweeter. Okay, so it's time to add it to our 9-inch spring mold. Get it in there and press it down. If you wanted to cover the sides also, you have to add more. So you have to mix up some more. Right now we're just going to cover the base of the cake. Press it down, get it evenly spread out. And that's pretty much the base. Okay, so let's start making the cheesecake filling. Start out with our condensed milk. We had a 12-ounce can. Let's add 2 8-ounce bars of cream cheese to the condensed milk in the food processor. I left the cream cheese out for about an hour to make it easier to work with, so it's nice and soft. Okay, got that all mixed up. Let's add some vanilla extract to our mixture. It'll be 1 teaspoon. Okay, that should be nice. Let's add our eggs now. I'm going to add 2 eggs to the mixture. Here's 1. And number 2 is coming up. Okay, so we got that done. Let's set it aside and start on the pumpkin filling. We start out with our canned pumpkin. We're going to use 16 ounces. To the pumpkin, we're going to add 2 eggs. Let's make sure and look at the recipe and make sure we put the right amount of sugar in there. So we're going to add 3/4 of a cup of sugar. We'll get that mixing and we'll pour it in. To that, we're going to add 1 can of evaporated milk. It's a 12-ounce can. And while it's mixing, we're going to add our half teaspoon of ginger. I looked in the cabinet and couldn't find any ground cloves. I had some whole cloves, so I ground them up, and that's how I got my ground cloves. Yeah, okay, now we got to add 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. Well, okay, now it's time to make sure you preheat the oven at 350 degrees. Could do that a few minutes earlier, but let's get that going while we pour that pumpkin on top of the pie crust. Okay, so let's get that cheesecake filling that we made in the food processor. Pour it in, swirl it around, pour it slowly. Look at that. Pour that in. What can go wrong? Yummy cheesecake filling. There you go. Make sure that blade doesn't pop out. There you go. And swirl it around without touching the bottom. Get it nice and easily blended. Ah, yeah. Looking good. So we're going to put it in the oven for around 60 minutes. You can go a little bit longer. So when it's done, you just turn off the oven and leave it sitting in there for about an hour. You can go a half hour to an hour. And it's Grandma Cece cutting around the edge of the 9-inch spring mold. Make sure it doesn't pull apart the cake. And look at that. Make sure you cut me a nice piece, Grandma Cece. Okay, that's my slice, and there's your slice. Oh, wait a minute. I get the big one, you get the little one. Boy, that looks good. It is best to leave in the refrigerator for a couple hours, get it nice and cold. You can make this for any occasion. Enjoy. Don't forget to subscribe, share the video, and hit like. Here's the recipe. Thanks, everybody.